شفت شوي عن هذا الرجال أظن ما أدري من هو تخيل محتواك زفت لدرجة تستخدم اسمي وتاخذ 17,000 مشاهدة.
Ethan Klein called me a rat on the latest episode of H3H3.
Ethan Klein.
Do not worry, the podcast. Ready to talk about more Ethan Klein? Excited?
Very excited.
We good to go? Apparently we're rats, or maybe I'm a rat. Supposedly. How's it going, everybody? Good to have you guys here. It's a dramatic week here on the podcast. But there's one person that wasn't really impressed with Hassan's work and who was kind of obsessing about Hassan during the fires. And that is our good friend Ethan Klein at H3H3, folks. As the fires were, and this has become a meme, but like we're a little bit late talking about this, but as the fires were ravaging Los Angeles and nearing his home, this is what Ethan Klein put out on his Instagram, unironically, folks. Unironically, he said, outside our window, it's close, but we're safe for now. And wind is blowing away from us. Hassan for sure hoping the fire takes out my computer. This man
crazy.
He's staring down flames of fire. His children are at home, maybe crying. His wife is panicking. They're packing shit. Ethan, daddy, what do we do? Should we go? He's like, 1 minute, kids. I need to make a fucking Hassan joke on my Instagram. Like, what the fuck, Ethan Klein, bro? And what I love, though, I love the memes that came out of that. So
He's obsessed.
Someone posted this on Twitter, like right on, like this is literally Ethan Klein right now. Editing his fucking content, nuke. Like, dude, there's a fucking fire. Like, the baby's burning. What are you doing, bro? Ethan, my man, priorities, my guy. It's so fucking funny.
The Sims 2.
Yeah, there's also this one right here. Everything's fine. Just watching Hassan videos while everything's burning around him. Pretty fucking funny. And then Carolyn Kwan, the streamer that was with Hassan when they went to meet the incarcerated firefighters, she commented on Ethan's Instagram story on one of her streams, and Ethan sort of reshared it on his Instagram stories with the text that you're going to see. So let's watch it together and read what Ethan said.
I just have to say something. I don't comment on Ethan, okay? But I saw his post where there were fires that were close by his house, and he mentioned like he was still thinking of Hassan. And it honestly made me sad. Like, I'm not trying to do the whole, okay, as somebody who has now had to evacuate, like I'm not trying to, like, I don't want to center myself in everything that's happened because there are people who have experienced worse. But truly, as someone who has seen smoke and flames practically in my backyard, the idea of thinking about somebody, the idea of thinking about anything other than a plan of safety is not fathomable.
It's kind of,
and I will just,
it's kind of hilarious. So then he continues. So let me just read what he said here. So before we get to the other half of the video, he said, "Did she forget that Hassan live streamed her evacuation? Get a grip, you dumb fucking gremlin. It's a joke. You think because of one sentence in an Insta story it means I'm not thinking of my family? Also, you're not special. We all have smoke and flames in our backyard. Welcome to LA. You should go back to not commenting on me. Actually, don't comment on anything ever." And then he mentioned that Hassan, while he was streaming, so he got a call from Carolyn, like her partner, her boyfriend, I'm not sure. He went to pick them up from their house.
Her partner.
And he like live streamed the rescue, which I don't think they were expecting. So let's just watch. So Ethan shared that. We can watch it. That was, I'll admit, that was kind of funny. I was watching that video and I was like, did he tell them that he's live streaming or not? So then he said, also, isn't she doing the exact same thing she's accusing me of? Why are you thinking about me at a time like this? With a fire and a genocide happening? How selfish can you be? And here is the second sort of, then he shared the video of Hassan sort of filming them.
How are you guys feeling? Traumatized a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh damn, it's got that nice smoky scent outside.
Are you streaming?
I am, yeah.
You're absolutely insane.
I'm an insane person. Anyway,
it's one of those things where you don't think that it's going to be you, and then it is, right? Like, you're paying attention to the news and you're seeing everything, and
I'm sorry,
suddenly...
I burped.
Ew.
Son, we just evacuated that.
Okay, I hate you.
Hassan, please.
So, like Hassan's just fucking around with his friends at this point. Like he just burped and like.
These are literally his friends, and
Ethan is so dramatic. It's like, here is Hassan laughing in her face when she's being vulnerable about evacuating after shoving a camera in her face without permission and during a genocide. Okay, the genocide part is a joke. Wait, what did he say the first time? So when he shared that first video, he said, imagine being mad at me while your friend live streamed the most stressful, traumatizing event of your life without even asking permission or telling you ahead of time during a genocide. But Ethan made one joke on a story. I need to shit and piss myself. Be for real. So anyways, yeah, Ethan kind of lost his mind at this whole thing. But this was an interesting tweet that I found on Twitter. Let's just read that. Not said, I will say this again. This is why Ethan Klein loathes Hassan. Hassan is caring and genuine. Ethan wouldn't set foot out of his basement to even do this. Instead, he prefers to platform gross men who sexually harass his employees. He uses Hassan as a deflection tactic. And she shared a photo of Hassan spending time with the incarcerated firefighters and like the good work that he's doing. So yeah, I mean, a lot of this does probably stem from jealousy and Ethan feeling like inadequate when compared to what Hassan is doing. He's making a real difference on the ground. And all Ethan does is, you know, shit and piss on his fucking podcast.
whine and complain.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Before we move on to the main topic, which is Ethan Klein calling me a rat on H3H3, we have some breaking news, folks. A ceasefire deal has just been reached in Gaza between, Israel and Hamas. I'm guessing. Noor, could you pull up that post? Breaking news. We don't have a lot of details right now, but this just broke. Israel and Palestine movement Hamas have agreed to a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, potentially bringing an end to Israel's devastating war in the enclave. The ceasefire will go into effect on Sunday. Qatari Prime Minister Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman bin Jassim Al Thani announced the deal on Wednesday during a press conference in Doha. The Qataris, alongside the Egyptians, helped negotiate the agreement with Israel, while the incoming U.S. administration of President-elect Donald Trump applied pressure on the Israelis. Haaretz reported Trump had warned that there would be hell to pay if a deal to release the Israeli captives was not sealed by his inauguration on January 20th. Among those captives are U.S. citizens. Leaked details of the deal highlight a 6-week initial ceasefire phase, which would include the gradual withdrawal of Israeli forces from northern Gaza and the release of captives held by Hamas and other armed groups in exchange for Palestinian prisoners in Israel. The fact that they're going to get some Palestinian prisoners out is pretty cool. Now, obviously, we don't know any details other than what we just read. What are the conditions? We know that Trump had like promised to annex the West Bank eventually. So like, I don't think Trump is any good news for Palestinians or anything like that. But he at least did more than Biden and Harris did over the last fucking 2 years. You know what I mean? So at the very least, there's a ceasefire. Congratulations to the people of Gaza. I don't know what the conditions are, so it's hard to feel happy or hopeful.
Always, with the Israelis, always.
Exactly. So, like, yes, it's great that the bombings are going to stop. People are not going to be, women and children and just innocent men are not going to be murdered anymore on a daily basis. As of yet, the IDF always kills people, but like, let's just hope for the best. We'll know more when we hear more, and we'll try to cover it next week.
I just hope the Palestinians feel some rest and some ease of mind for the little time being, and hopefully the occupation will end someday.
It's been a year and a half nonstop of drones, bombings, massacres. I hope like the kids don't have to listen to fucking drones all fucking day anymore, and just, but like, yeah, what are they gonna do? The people that lost their homes, God be with them. But yeah, congratulations. And speaking of Palestine, and speaking of Ethan Klein earlier and fires and everything, we made a little appearance on Monday's episode of the H3 podcast, which is just crazy. Again, if you guys haven't watched my podcast, the episode number 149, where I went like in depth into Ethan Klein, my relationship with the H3 podcast, the fact that this whole podcast exists and is inspired by H3, this podcast would not exist if it weren't for the H3 podcast. I was a massive H3 fan. I watched it for years. I spent thousands of dollars on Teddy Fresh. I have a massive Teddy Fresh collection, which I will be altering hopefully next week on a video. But I have been a massive supporter of the H3 podcast for many years. And yeah, it's just weird to see where the podcast has gone and how my relationship with the podcast has changed. I've gone from loving the show to now being insulted by the show's host, to his thousands and hundreds of thousands of viewers, and being called all sorts of shit like a racist and now a rat, apparently. So that's
come full circle.
Let's just start with the clip. Let's not tease you guys anymore. Let's watch Ethan calling me a rat, and then we're gonna pause the video and like sort of, you know, comment as it unfolds.
No words.
I've seen a bit about this guy. I don't know who he is. He's like friends with Frogan.
Okay, first of all, say my name, Ethan Klein. At this point, I know a little bit about him. You know enough to say my name, or at least say the name of the podcast. Who's this guy? He's just friends with Frogan. Come on, put some respect on my name, Ethan Klein.
And I just heard that he's like making tons of episodes about me. Imagine how
He almost said obsessed. He almost said, I heard that he's like making tons of episodes about me. Ethan Klein, I am no more obsessed with you than you are obsessed with Hassan Piker. There's a fucking fire burning in your backyard and you're out there posting Instagram stories about Hassan Piker. And you have the nerve to say that I am obsessed with you, my man. Come on, the nerve on that man.
how shit your content has to be to use my name and only get 17,000 views. Like Mika's video was phoned the fuck in, literally, and she got 100,000. Like how boring and shit must your content be to get 17,000 views after 3 weeks with my name?
How boring. Oh my God, your name only got that. Whose fucking fault is that, Ethan Klein? The first video.
It's not even working.
It's not even working anymore. People are fucking sick of your name, my man. You're losing views. You're losing subscribers. What are you talking about? People are fucking sick of it. I'm trying to fucking milk this, bro. People are fucking tired of you, my man. I don't know what to say. And my first video of you got like over 60,000 views. Why aren't you talking about that one? I made a lot of great arguments. I have a feeling you've watched it at that point, but why are you? And 17K views. I'm sorry, my man. That's not bad at all. Okay, we're a small little podcast in Lebanon. And host, like, this is an Arabic-speaking country. I host a podcast in English where I talk about, like, niche TikTokers and shit. 17K views is fucking awesome. Don't let anyone, but he's just doing that to, like, try to discourage us from talking more about him. He's trying to make us feel like shit about our views. I'm very happy with 17,000 views. Like, our podcast used to struggle to get to 8 or 9K views. Now we're crossing 10,000 views with, like, almost no effort. So that's a pretty good number for us. Okay, it's not much for Ethan Klein, who's used to millions of views, even though his podcast has lost 25 to 30% of his viewership. Like, our podcast is going up. You know what I mean? His is going down. Even he's got more views than us now, but like I'd rather be on an upward trajectory than a downward trajectory like Ethan Klein. So anyways, let's keep watching.
Name and title? Come on, bro. You're better than that. You can do better. Try harder.
I am, Ethan. I am.
That dude's always defending me on Twitter. I don't know a lot about him.
Why? These people are rats.
So AB says this dude's always defending me on Twitter. I don't know much about him. And Ethan just says why. Ethan can't believe that someone would defend one of his like crew members. Like, he finds it impossible to believe that we would not like Ethan, but like some of the crew. Ethan, there are fans that have been watching H3 for years that like absolutely hate you. You're probably their least favorite person on the show, but they love the crew. They're watching because they love Dan or they love Olivia or they like Zach or like all sorts of reasons. Like even our show, there are people that hate me that love Noor. There are people that hate me that love Karim. There are people that hate all of us that love Elijah. They're like ever since Elijah stopped coming on the show because he's been like very busy, they're like, I don't want to watch the show anymore. There's all sorts of like relationships that people have with the show and different characters of the show. So if someone is a big fan of AB, the first thing you should say isn't like, why? Why would they defend you of all people? Like, because AB's cool, man. I like AB. He's a sweet guy. And I just kind of feel bad for the situation that he's in. So yeah, I'm going to defend him. And don't be so shocked.
He's doing that intentionally. You know that. These people literally, they'll talk shit about me and they'll love bomb you just to fucking make it uncomfortable. It's totally intentional. This guy's a fucking rat, dude.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
A fucking rat.
Yeah, I'm not
This guy's going to sit there and tell me that the Arab tier list was not racial at all and that
He's still talking about the Arab tier list. Ethan, it's been months, my man. It's not, and you see, he's definitely seen my videos because I talked about that, like, I think in the first video that I made about Ethan. So he must have seen it at this point. Like, I don't know.
totally lying about it. Like, give me a fucking break, dude. Get a grip, bro. Anyway, congrats on the 17,000. Keep grinding, buddy.
Thank you. Well, speaking of views, okay. Speaking of views, let's analyze the 17K thing. Well, first of all, he called me a rat as an Arab. You know what I mean? It's offensive being called a rat. And now a lot of people on Twitter were being like, "Yo, he called you a rat." That's like a very like Israeli like propaganda thing to do, like calling Arabs rats and dehumanizing Palestinians, which is true. So I just got this blurb from an article. This was from an Israeli historian who said this. It says Palestinians are presented as barbarian and as primitive and as people who do not understand the laws of war, people that do not make distinctions between civilians and combatants and so forth, and therefore they are immoral, while Israel claims that it tries to protect civilians. This is to legitimize war crimes. Statements like Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant Hila Klein's best friend saying we're fighting against animals are clear examples of the strategy to try to legitimize war crimes, said Gordon. Comparisons of Palestinians to rats or snakes on Israeli social media accounts are an effort to dehumanize them and legitimize civilian deaths. And it's not the first time Ethan refers to Palestinians as rats. Here he is talking about Yahya Sinwar, the orchestrator of the October 7 attacks. He calls him a dirty rat, I think. Let's see.
Retaliation, like the events of October
Rest in peace, motherfucking bitch ass. He's dead. Fuck that guy, Sinwar. Rat-faced fucking dead terrorist bitch.
7.
Today, rat face. So Ethan has made it a habit of calling Arabs rats. Now, I'm gonna give Ethan a little bit of credit here, and I don't think he meant it that way. I shouldn't be charitable to Ethan at all, but I'm gonna choose to be charitable. I think he means rats as like, I'm trying to be sneaky. I'm trying to like turn AB against Ethan. I think that's what he means, but he's also so used to being anti-Arab at this point that he can't even control it. I think it just comes out of him, calling Arabs rats. So thank you, Ethan, but I'm going to choose to believe that you meant it as, I'm just trying to be a sneaky little bastard. But anyways, Ethan literally called me a rat on his show, folks, but I'm happy. He thinks I'm afraid. You think I'm going to cower in fear? Ethan, I'm waiting for that content nuke. And speaking of views, okay, Ethan is saying that like my views are shit. First of all, Ethan Klein recently invited Lonerbox. Remember Lonerbox invited him on his show, podcast. Ethan's a big fan of Lonerbox, respects him. Let's see what Lonerbox is doing view-wise, and if Ethan would criticize Lonerbox's views. His last few videos, 8K views, 10K views, 29K views, 11K views. Would Ethan tell Lonerbox, who he agrees with on Israel and Palestine, would he make fun of his views? Probably not. He'd think, oh, these are very respectable views, even though Lonerbox has twice the subscribers that I do. Now, I'm not here to shit on Lonerbox's views. These are respectable views. He's got videos with 30,000, 40,000, etc. But like his last 2 weeks of content, 11,000 views on average. So why are you making fun of my shit, Ethan? Also, just as a quick note, like getting views on YouTube is very hard. Okay, I've been at this for 4 years now. So if you're watching this and you have a YouTube channel and you're at 500 views, 1,000 views, don't listen to the shit Ethan is saying. Don't try, like, I'm not letting him bring me down by making fun of my views. If you guys are getting 50 fucking views, keep going, keep working until you find your audience. Don't let him discourage you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very encouraged by how our channel is growing. We had 12,000 subscribers just a few months ago. We're at 22,000. Here's a video of Ethan crying about his monetization dropping in the month of November. He's making fun of my views. Here he is literally crying about their fucking monetization.
That bad. Well, it went from, I mean, it dropped by like, what would that be? Like 20%, 15%?
Do you want to know the actual percent? Because I'm looking at it right now.
Well, hold on. This is what I saw. Oh. Yeah, tell me the percent. You can tell me the percent. I don't want to say the number, but I want to say, you can say the percent.
Okay, it's 9%.
That's what I said, 10%.
You said 20.
Oh. 10%'s a lot. That's a lot of revenue.
It's significant. I'm not saying it's not significant.
But like, I don't understand what's going on because it's November, which is usually your highest revenue month, and this was like our lowest revenue month of the year.
Fun fact, Ethan, November was our highest revenue month of 2024. So you see, your podcast is going down, our podcast is going up, but you're out here making fun of my channel and my views. So, I mean, I'd rather, even though if my monetization doesn't touch your monetization, the fact that ours is going up and it's on an upward trajectory, I think that's a good thing, motherfucker. And the fact that you had your shittiest month in November says a lot about your content and where you're at right now, relationship-wise, with your audience.
Makes me think like January is going to be extraordinarily cursed.
Yeah.
Which has me a little worried.
No.
Yeah.
We've been in worse spots. That's my attitude about it.
Yeah, we have been. Although when we were in worse, listen, we're not in financial.
You're making fun of my views. You already talking about your financial troubles, Ethan, like a pathetic little bastard. Look, we have another video where he's literally begging people to become members and like to buy memberships. Listen, does this sound like someone who's feeling good about his views? Do I beg you guys to join our Patreon? Listen to this fucking pathetic motherfucker.
Thank you to our members. Thank you to our members so very much. I was explaining on Monday that it's no surprise, or it's no secret, that the show has taken a bit of a downswing on viewership, and therefore ad revenue and memberships, because I'm stand on my business.
You certainly do.
And you know what I mean? And it was not an unexpected thing to happen. I expected it as a result of my decisions to distance myself from Hassan and his
in my opinion, more radical community than I'm comfortable with. And I want to say that thank you to everyone who continues to support us with the memberships. And if you are in a position to support us, if you can afford the $5 a month or whatever.
This dude just bought a like multi-$1,000 Rolex. He's like, if you can afford to give us $5 a month, please, like what? And he's making fun of my views, motherfucker.
For a cost, then I would greatly appreciate that at this time. However, we're fine. We're gonna be fine, and I'm just happy you're here.
We're gonna make it, baby.
Thank you, guys.
And he makes fun of Frogan and he calls her a panhandler when she asks for like fucking Twitch subscriptions. He's out here being like, please, if you can afford to send us $5, please send us the $5. Like, Ethan, come on, man. Come on. What the fuck, my man? Here is their channel. H3 Podcast used to be at 3 million subscribers, and they've been losing subscribers every month. Here they are at 2.78 million subscribers, so they've lost over 20,000 subscribers in the last couple of years. Here is their Social Blade. I just took this screenshot today. They're losing an average of 10,000 subscribers a month. Here they are. So, like, again, our channel is growing. Sure, we're at only 22,000 subs. It's not 2.7 million subs, but I'd rather be on a ship that's not sinking. The H3 ship right now, it's full of holes. You got the crew carrying buckets trying to get the water out of the ship. They're trying to save it. We're on a little humble ship, but guess what? It's got no holes in it. We're going with the tide. We're floating. We're good to go, Ethan. We're good to go. I ain't word. And thank you. All of this is thanks to you, my man. Seriously, like you've been doing so much work and sending your audience over to us. So I have you to thank, my man. You and Hila and all of your wonderful Zionist comments. And let me look at just my views with the videos regarding Ethan that I did. So the first video that I did, 149, which I recommend you all watch if you haven't seen it. This is where I go like fully in depth and I share exactly why I stopped watching H3. I talk about how much of a fan I was of the podcast, etc. Even the logo of our show is inspired by a Teddy Fresh shirt. So spare me, Ethan. Just look up my name, Anthony Sargon, in the Teddy Fresh database and look at how much money I've spent on your wife's brand, my guy. Okay? So my first video on Ethan got 62,000 views. I made a couple others because he reacted to some footage of me on the A-Raps podcast, called me a racist. So the next two videos got like 29 and 27K views. I think that's great, you know what I mean? Then I tried to wean off, because look, I knew that my audience was kind of sick of Ethan Klein. Ethan, my Lebanese audience doesn't even know who the fuck you are, my man, okay? The only reason I'm putting you in my thumbnails is to attract American and Western audiences. If I stop talking about you tomorrow, my show is just fine. I'm going to go back to talking about the things that we normally talk about and get the views we regularly get. So this is just a fun little bonus for me. And I just wanted to comment on AB. So AB clearly in the video was like kind of like tried to, I don't know if he tried to defend me or it was like, I mean, this guy defends me on Twitter, but like, I don't really know. And then
he did. I think he was trying to like throw me under the bus.
He kind of threw me under the bus. AB, I'm very disappointed. I put out a tweet. I'm like, AB, how could you do this to me, my man? How could you do this, AB? So look, a couple of months ago, I put out a tweet that said, proud of you, Starkiller. And he replied with a heart and I replied with a crown. And then we followed each other on Twitter. Okay, that was in response to when Lonerbox was invited on H3. AB and Lena just sat there and like kind of like countered everything that Lonerbox was saying, and they stood up for Palestine. And I was like, you know what? It's refreshing to see. I'm happy to see AB stand up to Lonerbox and to Ethan to some degree. So I put out that tweet. AB was happy, followed me. I'm like, great. But Ethan's like, Anthony's trying to be a rat, and he's trying to. Would a rat say this, Ethan? I literally told AB, bro, unfollow me because I don't want to get you in trouble with Ethan. Okay? Would a rat who wants to get in between you guys say this? There's a lot of Lonerbox stuff, but I think it's important for us to watch, so be patient with us. And I have to say, I put out a tweet out, so again, like I said, AB really like went out of his way to like sort of try to contradict Lonerbox, and I was very happy to see it. I couldn't resist. I put out a tweet. I said, proud of you, Starkiller, on Twitter. AB actually responded with a fucking heart, bro, which was really nice, so gave him a little crown there. But even more surprising, folks, I got a follow on Twitter from the man himself. There it is, AB Starkiller following me. Now, I don't know if AB has seen any of my other videos. If he scrolls down just a little bit on Twitter, he'll see all the stuff I've had to say about Ethan. So I'm gonna assume AB has not seen that stuff because Ethan would probably not be happy if AB was following me. AB, for your sake, I would say maybe unfollow me just to not get in trouble with Ethan. But I appreciate you, my man. Thank you for the follow. We love you, man. We care about you. We just don't want you to be in an unsafe, shitty environment that's going to kind of drive you crazy. But I really appreciate him just dropping that heart. And I wanted, because I've criticized AB publicly on this podcast and on Twitter, and I wanted to let him know, and Lena and Olivia, let them know, we see you, we hear you, we know you guys aren't cool with that shit. So props, and I should have mentioned Lena here too, because she also was not letting Loner Box go. So I'm literally telling AB, like, bro, unfollow me if you think this is going to get you in trouble or anything like that. With Ethan, I don't want to get in the way. But apparently I'm a rat. You know what I mean? And I've even defended AB on Twitter when he was beefing with Destiny, and Destiny was accusing AB of like lying about one of like Destiny fans pretending to be AB on the Snark subreddit, etc. So Destiny was actually being a rat in that situation and trying to get in between AB, and he's like calling AB a liar and all that sort of shit. And I was defending AB on Twitter. So AB, I mean, look, you can unfollow me if you want right now, man. Like, I don't care anymore, but like, just I defended you, my man. That's because I care about you and I care about Lena, and I see you guys as Lebanese, and you're on that show where obviously the hosts are not sympathetic or empathetic to what's happening to you guys and your families in Lebanon and Palestine and all of that. So I figured I would defend you guys. But I mean, and one of the topics that I wanted to talk about this week was, is the crew complicit in Ethan's crash out? Like, should we blame the crew for standing by Ethan, or should we expect them to stand up to him? And I've been very critical of the H3 crew on some previous episodes. Like, I've gone back and forth. Sometimes I'm like, we should leave them alone. It's not their fault. And sometimes I've been like, fuck them. Their crew should have done this or should have said that. I've been watching a lot of Vanguard recently and their coverage of the TYT crash out and Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian, and they said something that kind of gave me perspective on the H3 crew. They're like, they don't blame any of the staff at TYT because they understand that, like, they're there no matter what Anna Kasparian or Cenk are doing. The employees at TYT still need to earn their paycheck, so they're under Cenk's boot essentially, so they have to keep working. I don't expect anyone at H3 to like give up a fucking full-time salary. They're probably paid pretty well, you know what I mean? Living in Los Angeles is not cheap. So for them to stand up for something like this, but to give everything up, and they've all known Ethan for 45 years, so it's not their job to put Ethan in their place. Would I have liked some more pushback? Of course. Like, for example, you've worked here for 3 years, but the difference is I don't pay you like a living wage. The salary you get paid here is like you pay your rent. It's a little bit of extra money. So like, if you were to leave this podcast, it wouldn't destroy your life, I would imagine. So you have no problem just shitting on me or telling me that you disagree with my... And look, we have a lot of disagreements with the crew. Like, there's some topics that I want to talk about that they don't want to talk about. There are takes that I share on here that they're like, that's kind of a bad take. I end up like either deleting them or like editing the shit out of them. Like, shit happens, but I listen to my crew and I want them to be comfortable in telling me what they feel. The fact that Ethan's crew doesn't seem like comfortable to just talk about this stuff just seems a little bit... I don't know, shitty. So I really don't want to be someone that's blaming the crew for something that their employer is doing. And I understand, like, Dan was like, he's getting married soon, and like they all need their salaries. Like AB and Lena are like buying a house or whatever the fuck, you know. This is sounding super parasocial and shit. But I mean, for example, they're bullying the shit out of Mika. Like, for example, Mika's rhetoric, who made the video about them. Like, remember again how they were calling her a mouth breather? Just like, this is the whole crew participating. So at this point, I just don't want to, I'm not going to blame them for anything, but I'm not going to extend any sympathy towards them anymore.
I'm going to film myself gape mouth typing on my keyboard like a fucking buffoon.
That's the nuance, Ethan.
Fucking mouth breathing into the mic. What the hell, dude? I'm going to look up this clip right now.
Like Dan,
like, dude,
AB, all of them just
it's
laughing
so
at
easy
this
to
like
fix
sweet
fucking
girl, man, who
views.
just made a video. Like, she
just
wasn't
shitting
really,
on
she
me.
wasn't a little over her head, like, you know what I mean? And like, and Ethan's a 39-year-old attacking, like, she's like in her early 20s or something. You got an almost 40-year-old man with kids just completely bullying this girl on the internet with his crew, and they're all just like laughing along. So yeah, I'm sorry, I have lost a lot of respect for the interns, for the crew, and I'm just not gonna go after them. Like, here they are calling Mika dumb. Like, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, check.
And that's not my criticism.
Totally.
She's very dumb, and she's
Yeah.
nuanced, and she's a horrible at doing these.
Dan in the back.
She looks great. She looks great. Love her glasses too.
Yeah, Dan saying she's a terrible communicator. Here's another video of Ethan kind of like mocking her looks, and AB kind of joining in a little bit.
She's a snarker.
I've been reading, like, there was a post about being a Fallen fan, which is what
On Snark, she's talking about. It's awesome.
I always love to put a face to the snarkers.
Well, there you go. It's pretty much exactly what. It's pretty much. Yep.
Yep.
That's about it.
Little Klein refers to people who no longer...
They're making fun of like every target that Ethan sort of takes on. And like, you guys have done that too. If I make enemies with someone, you guys will like kind of support me, but like not blindly. You guys have never supported me against someone when it didn't make sense. If I'm beefing with someone and you guys disagree, you'll let me know, and you'll kind
We
of...
always have our opinions.
Yeah, and they stand up for what they believe in. Like with Ethan, for some reason, when it comes to the Hassan thing, everyone needs to just shut up and like agree with Ethan. And I mean, you would have assumed that Dan would have agreed with Hassan. You would assume that AB agrees with Hassan, but they're all just kind of sitting there and taking it because it's probably not the kind of work environment where they're encouraged to really share how they feel. Or if they do, it's going to make things very awkward. So, and I mean, here's just some examples of why I think Ethan hates me personally at this point. So I made this video that went kind of viral on Twitter of insulting Ethan when he got Hassan Nasrallah's name wrong.
You know, Hassan glazing up Hassan Nasrallah. He doesn't deserve me saying his name fully. He doesn't have.
Hassan Nasrallah فشل على رقبتك يا اخو موتك انت ومرتك صهيونية the leader of a fucking resistance force that fucking fought you guys single-handedly, you motherfucking genocidal fucks. So yeah, I mean, that went viral. I'm pretty sure Ethan saw that at some point. He doesn't like that. He also maybe doesn't love the fact that I am the reason why this Yoav Galan clip went viral. Shared it on Twitter, shared it everywhere, to be honest.
Yeah, Bibi like talk a lot, and Bibi's become a...
Remember that?
Yeah, Bibi's his guy. They're like homies. Bibi's celebrating last night.
Just the other day, Bibi fired a really good guy that a lot of people are pissed about, and he fired him because they had a disagreement, and that's like so Trump code.
Well, he was like a moderating voice.
Moderating, yeah.
Don't you miss her?
I miss Hila. Yeah, and Hila had to step away from the podcast because that clip went viral and like they had to explain themselves and all that sort of shit. So again, Ethan probably hates me because of that. And here he is reacting to me when I was on Arabs, calling me a racist because I said that Israelis like to steal Arabic food and they like to claim Middle Eastern food as their own.
My sister love it.
Yeah, that's the most offensive part. Like that's what triggers like Lebanese people the most on like Twitter is when we see like an Israeli plate of hummus or something, and nothing drives us more because like we're very proud of our food. You're talking about like culture. Like I think in terms of culture, white people have like the worst cuisines.
Okay, so these people are not white.
They think that all Israeli people are white. I don't understand.
Capri, shout out Capri.
I don't know how to tell people this, like that they listen. 60% of the Jews living in Israel are from the Middle East. They are from these fucking countries. They're from Lebanon. They're from Egypt. They're from Yemen. They're from Iraq.
Again, Ethan, so if they're Arabs living in Israel making Arabic food, it's Arabic food, it's not Israeli food. We're not going to go over that anyway. We've been over this millions of times. I just wanted to remind you guys
You're boring, guys.
my history with Ethan. What is just absurd about this is, like I said, Ethan inspired this whole podcast. He inspired me to start this 4 years ago. I was a massive fan. So just to be here watching him just shitting on me on his show, very funny. Also, like I have a full-time job. No one at my job knows what's happening. Like, you know what I mean? And I live in Lebanon, so no one knows who Ethan Klein is. No one gives a fuck. So like I'm like on work calls during the day, like pretending like everything's okay. And like I'm out here beefing with one of the biggest podcasters in the world just casually. And I can't really talk about it or relate to anyone with it while on the show. And like Ethan was probably mentioned me on his show and like talked about the views to like try to discourage me or other people from making more videos about him and like, you know, like to try to scare us off. Ethan, you can't scare me. There's nothing you can do that could affect me. I live in Lebanon. My audience has nothing to do with your audience. Most of my Lebanese audience has no idea who the fuck you are and they don't care. So as soon as I stop talking about you, I can just go back to making the content I normally make. You can't get me fired. There's nothing you can do to scare me. I don't care, my man. Okay, I'm not afraid of you. In fact, I really appreciate all the publicity that you've given us. If you talk about us in your content nuke that we're all anxiously awaiting, not really, but go for it, my man. You've helped this channel grow a lot, so I appreciate you. Thank you. You had your lowest monetization month in November. We had our highest, and that is all thanks to you. And speaking of the content nuke, at some point I was starting to feel like it was maybe like it's not real. Like, is Ethan just lying about it at this point? Because like, let's just watch it. It seems like but I think it is real. Let's see.
And an update on my personal life. I've been continuing to spend every available minute I have on this video. It is now over 1 hour runtime, completely done. And I'm now at a crossroads where I'm wondering, do I just put out, there's 2 chapters. I have both filmed, but only the first chapter edited. Do I just put out the first chapter and tease the second one, or do I wait several more weeks probably, and do it all together at once?
And like, he's milking this thing because that's all he has left. Like he keeps milking and like, Ethan, I want to stop talking about you, my man. I'm more than happy to stop making videos about you. I'm just taking advantage of the views, but views have been tanking with your name, so I might have to stop for my own channel's benefit to stop putting you in the thumbnails because you've been hurting my views actively now. The last couple of videos with you on the thumbnail has not helped. People are sick of you, my man, okay? But I think he's delaying this content nuke because he's got nothing, because he's keeping us watching. He's keeping the haters. We're all like waiting for any nugget about this content nuke. As soon as he drops it, I have no reason to ever pay attention to H3 ever again. Like, that's it. The content nuke is out. I'll watch it. We point and laugh at Ethan Klein, and then he rides off into the sunset forever, and I'll have no reason to ever talk about H3 ever again. I have no interest in covering every H3 drama. I'll be honest with you guys, his drama with like Aubrey, I don't care about that.
We're waiting.
My thing is, I do think the second part is important, but I don't want to turn this into like I just keep posting. Like, I don't even want to post on that channel. This is just a pop out, right, Nate?
Oh yeah. Pop on, show them.
It's just a pop out.
It's just a pop out. I see.
That's it.
When he makes comments like this, it makes me feel like he's not being serious. Like, he's just like, it would be the actual funny thing, like an actual, and I would give Ethan that, is if he's trolling and pretending that there's a content nuke and everyone's like, where's the nuke? Where's the video? Where's the video? And he's just like fucking with us and there's no actual video. That would be something funny. Like, I would actually give Ethan props if he did that. But I do think he is serious. I'm just not sure anymore. It's just taking so fucking long. Ethan, we all want to get over this. We all want to move on to other things, okay? And I'm only covering Ethan because of the Palestine, Israel, Zionist stuff. I'm not going to cover all Ethan drama, like his current drama with like Aubrey. I don't care about that, okay? I think both of them have done like stupid shit. I don't trust Aubrey in this situation. I don't trust Ethan. I don't care about this stuff. I just want to talk about the Zionist stuff. That's what really matters to me. So I just want to be done with this content nuke. I wanted to talk about Ethan, to defend Frogan, to defend the Arabs, to talk about what was happening in Palestine and in Lebanon, and to sort of clarify a lot of the wrong things that he was saying and a lot of the Zionist propaganda that he was saying. My job and my life is not going to be covering Ethan drama forever. We're almost done. Ethan, drop the fucking nuke, my man, and say my name in the nuke, okay? Mention the podcast name. Don't just call some guy or Frogan's friend, okay? The Do Not Worry podcast, my man, okay? And Fallen H3 fans, fellow Fallen H3 fans, welcome to the family. Join us. We talk about a lot of random Lebanese stuff, but you're welcome here. We're going to be talking about a lot more American stuff. David Dobrik.
Subtitle everything for
We're
you.
subtitling shit, okay? So it's going to be good. But anyways, we've talked a lot about this. Let's just close out with our Houthi kid friend hitting Ethan Klein with a slipper.
Klein, Klein, Ethan Klein, Ethan Klein, Ethan Klein, Ethan Klein, Ethan Klein, Ethan Klein.
Thank you, Tim Houthi Chalamet. And now because we played that video, Ethan is going to call us terrorist sympathizers. So there we go. Anyways, Ethan, thank you for inspiring this podcast. I wouldn't be here without you, my man. Thank you for helping our channel grow in the last few months. Driving your audience away, repelling your audience, turning them off so badly that they're desperately looking for other content, that they're watching this shitty little... And by the way, if Ethan thinks my show is so bad, and if my content is so boring, I learned from the best, my man. I learned from you. This show's inspired by H3, so if you think this show fucking sucks, says a lot about what you think about your own fucking show and the shit you make on a daily basis, my man, okay? Literally, you are my content daddy. You inspired all of this. So if you're not proud of this, if you're ashamed of this podcast, I'm sorry. I learned from you, my man. So if you don't like this, give me some tips. Hey, who knows? But anyways, folks, there's a lot of topics that we wanted to talk about today that we are not going to get time to get to because I had to protect my name. Ethan Klein calling me a rat? You racist f***. What the hell, Ethan Klein? Anyways, folks, we were going to look at Hila's art, but I'm not going to make fun of her art. Fuck it. We don't have time for that.
Can I see her art?
Want to see her art? We're not going to, okay, we're not going to show it on cam. We can show you. Want to see some of her art?
We can show it, yeah.
We can see some of her art. Here is, you want to see some of her art from the fires? Look at that.
She's done fire art.
Yeah. She's doing Los Angeles fire art. Here's a man saving a rabbit. Look at that art. Isn't that beautiful? Hila Klein art. Here's a plane. The plane's not bad. I'll give her that. The plane's not bad. This thank you firefighters. Someone on H3 Snark made a parody of the firefighter one. It's really funny. It says, thank you, H3 Snark. Like, it's like a 2-year-old fucking drew this. Hila, come on. I spent so much money on Teddy Fresh. Joke's on me, folks. I should be ashamed of myself. Next week, we're going to try to have a seamstress on the show to alter Teddy Fresh clothing while we record the podcast. We're going to remove Teddy Fresh patches, replace them. Was supposed to be on this week. She canceled because she got sick. So if she can't make it next week, I have a replacement in mind. Let's see what we can do. I'm working on it, folks. Hila, beautiful art. Beautiful art.
Keep going.
She has more. You want to see some of her IDF art that she drew
Yeah,
while she was in the
please.
IDF? Look at this boom explosion. This is like a nuclear mushroom. A fucking little like tank. Look how fucking tacky this is. He's got like a Bratz doll on like a tank.
These are the wings.
What the fuck? You know what I mean? And then like another little collage of weaponry mixed with some more
Yeah, very interesting art. I know she's good, but it's very interesting.
beautiful art. I wouldn't say she's good. But anyways, folks, that was our episode. Let us know. Do you agree with Ethan Klein in the comments? Am I a rat? Do you agree that did AB completely shun me? I felt like Jesus when he was denied, like shunned by his apostles.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I don't know why he's following me.
When they deny Jesus Christ. AB, you denying me? I don't know why he's defending me on Twitter. Well, God forbid someone fucking defends you, bro. Jesus
I
Christ.
said it once and I'll say it again. I never really liked AB to begin with.
I mean, he's nice. He just doesn't have much. Like he's just
Felt fake.
They're a bit like spineless at this point. That's all I'll say. But like AB,
Spineless.
what the fuck, bro? What the fuck, man? I defend you, and this is the thanks I get. You know, no thanks, essentially.
No thanks.
No thanks.
And Ethan Klein, you're boring.
You're boring. We're done. Please just release the nuke, my man. We all want to move on with our lives, okay? And thank you for the publicity. Do not worry. The podcast